Morning, everyone.
Good morning.
How are we doing?
Yeah, we're good.
We all right?
Yeah, I think we're good. How you doing?
Standard, bro. Stable.
Bagel.
Hey, happy Monday. We're another episode 21. We're going into the more kind of young adult part of our
lifetime now. Part of journey.
Yeah, we're on that part of our journey now.
Okay.
So we're gonna go straight in. If you didn't already know, there isn't actually a huge amount.
Not a great deal. No.
Tokyo Game Show was on. It's going.
It's still going.
And the only other bit, the news I've got at the moment is from Microsoft, which was that for UK, I got an email recently that the Xbox Game Pass for PC has got the introductory price is now over. It's coming out of beta. It's no longer $3.99. It's now $7.99. So it's now sitting up there with the Netflix gaming world.
Yeah.
It's doing great.
Netflix price. So.
For those that don't know, the Xbox Game Pass allows you to pay a monthly subscription. There's two different types. I mean, you can get it on the console version, you can get it on the PC version. I have it on the PC version. It means you pay a monthly fee, and it gives you access to games. It's kind of like Netflix. It's a case of, I want to play that game. You click install, bang, it's on your computer. You didn't pay £35-40 for it. It's really good.
I
think
like
it's
a solid idea.
Yeah, man.
And you know what? For me personally, I'm kind of tempted just on that.
It's
I won't
really
lie.
good.
I won't lie. I am a little bit tempted.
Because at the moment I play Wasteland 2. I'm going to start Wasteland 3. No Man's Sky is now on there as well.
No Man's Sky. Has that lived up to its 5-year-old
It's
promise?
Like the ultimate redemption story now. They've got to a point where I think it's really come around, and I think if only they'd been a bit more not realistic, but just more open and transparent with where they were actually at, as opposed to what they wanted.
Yeah. For those of you guys who don't, sorry to cut you off.
No.
For those of you guys who don't know, No Man's Sky was announced about
a few years ago.
Yeah, about 4 years ago now, I think. And it's meant to be. It was touted to be this huge intergalactic travel.
You can fly anywhere, go from space to the land on the planet without any loading. Multiplayer.
That was a huge selling point for it, actually. Like the whole.
It is now.
It's
multiplayer now.
It's multiplayer now. Yeah.
They just dropped something else as well.
Okay.
Origins or something like that. But yeah, so basically they made all these promises and didn't deliver on any of it, and the world exploded. The internet exploded.
Yeah.
And they got in a lot of trouble, but they've come back now, and they've actually they've hit the they're very it's good. I'm enjoying the little bit I'm playing of it, but this is on X Pass. Wasteland 3 is on X Pass. Crusader Kings 3. The strategy game is on X Pass. Bloodstained, the Castlevania.
Oh yes,
game.
Yes,
that's on there. So yeah, it's really worth it. But now it's $7.99 a month for PC.
There's not an excuse, really.
Nah, man, it's really worth it. If you're playing multiple games, you know how I am. I've got like the attention span of a small child.
I mean, your words.
I play a lot of games. I play a lot of games, and I go through massive phases of like doubling down on one game.
Yeah.
And then I'll be like, oh, what's that? And then I go over there.
Well, there's something shiny over there.
Yeah.
Can we go look at it?
Right now, yeah. There's two games I'm kind of like dabbling with at the moment. Well, my dailies, right? So you got the Avengers, which I'm still playing. You've got Apex Legends and Spellbreak, which I'm still playing. I'm still sharing that game out. I'm all in Persona 5 right now.
All back in Persona 5.
I'm all back into Persona 5.
Let's be real.
Yeah. I've tried to play this game like 3 times, and then something will come out and something will change.
Yeah.
So I'm back into Persona 5, and I'm past the point of where I normally get to. And dude, that game is sick.
It's good.
It's
worth getting into.
Yeah, man. You would love it, but you would actually.
Me personally. Sell it to me. Give me 3 lines. Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah. Come on.
Persona 5 is a Japanese RPG.
Cool.
It's a legacy game, so there's 5 of them, obviously.
Yeah.
But they're all from each one represents a different school, as far as I'm aware.
So it's almost like an anthology sort
of.
Yeah.
And basically, you are a group of teenagers, high school students, have the ability to break into people's minds and steal their distorted desires.
Break into people's minds. It
or
sounds
hearts. Break into their hearts.
Right. Okay. I mean, it sounds very Inception level.
I'm probably butchering the explanation of this, but the idea.
Okay,
the only way I can describe it is it's a case of there's people that do some really twisted stuff, whether it's plagiarism or sexual harassment or whatever it is.
Okay.
And the idea is that you can go into their mind's eye, and they have a distortion in their hearts. For example, the gym teacher thinks that the school is his castle.
Right.
So when you go into his mind, the dungeon is a castle.
Right.
And but it's actually representing the school.
Okay.
And he believes that the volleyball team is his slaves, and he's actually got this twisted relationship with one of the students, and this whole thing.
God.
So you have to basically beat the dungeon, beat him, steal his treasure, which is his heart.
Right.
And then he has a change of heart and confesses to all his crimes and sins, and that's that dungeon. And then the next one is the next thing. But you see all these guys really twisted to distorted desires.
Right.
There
is something very kind of there's something almost biblical about how this feels, how you're telling it to me.
Yeah, it's great. And the idea is you have to be a normal high school student in Japan. It's set in Tokyo, modern day, which I love because it's not this it's fantasy, but it's not this kind of like swords and it's you get the subway to school, and you have to study, and you've got to work, and you have exams, and but then whilst you're doing that, you also have to find the time to run these dungeons. And I love it. Right now I love it. I think it's very, very fun. The music's amazing. The aesthetics of it is really, really fun. I'm like years late to this party, but I'm enjoying it. So, and then obviously after that, I was gonna have a little go on the Games Pass and play some either No Man's Sky or Bloodstained. I haven't decided yet.
I mean, Bloodstained sounds like it's gonna be good.
Yeah, Bloodstained, and it looks great.
Yeah.
So it's a Castlevania style game if you haven't played Castlevania. So there was that bit of news.
Okay, cool.
Which was great. Other than, and obviously the thing that everybody's screaming about is Microsoft buying Bethesda and ZeniMax. So 7.5 billion.
Not even billion.
Billion. And the first game that apparently they're releasing on the Xbox Games Pass
is Doom Eternal.
Which is huge. For that to be on the Game Pass, that's going to pull a lot of people in.
Yeah.
The Game Pass is such a clever move from Xbox, because I think right now they're not on the winning side when it comes to loads of people are going to buy the Series X.
Yeah.
And I think they don't have the exclusives right now.
They don't have the exclusive. That's been their problem for a long time.
Yeah. And I think now they're like, well, yeah, okay, it's going to take us a while to get to that point, but there's a market here that no one is getting right, whether it's Stadia or Sony or whatever.
Yeah, bless Stadia.
Yeah, bless them. And
they tried.
Stadia, for people that don't know, was a crack by Google. They tried to make a streaming service on their system that basically meant they wanted it to be the Netflix of gaming.
Yeah.
And they tried, and there was no new games. No one was making anything for it, and it was kind of dead on arrival.
What was funny about that is that they gave it so much gas.
They tried
with the advertising. It's like, this is gonna be big. Watch.
And they send you a controller, a controller, and a Chromecast.
Which on the face of it sounds like a brilliant idea.
Yeah, they send you. All they do is send you a controller with a Chromecast, and they're like, and you're away.
Yeah.
And the tech worked.
It does.
But there was just zero games. There was nothing for it. And the fact is that you still had to pay a monthly subscription and buy the games, which just defeats the entire point.
That was always going to fall down flat.
So it didn't work out. The controller was nice, but yeah, it didn't work out. Whereas now Xbox and Microsoft have come in and they're like, yeah, just pay us £8 a month and you can play all these games.
Calm.
And it's just so good.
I mean, if I was Sony right now, I would be worried.
Well, they're doing that. They're trying to do something similar, aren't they, with the Now subscription?
I think they're trying to.
Now.
Yeah, I think they're trying to bolster that somehow.
There's some good-looking games for it, but I don't think that it's reacting to Microsoft. I don't think it's.
Yeah.
They're not taking it as seriously as Microsoft are, and I think this is going to be a good little money earner for the boys, for the Xbox boys.
Yeah. Do you know what? To use a footballing term, I guess, I will fully glory hunt. Yeah, I'm telling you, I kind of want Microsoft to do well this generation, and it sounds like with the Game Pass, they're definitely onto something big.
And the Bethesda
and the 7.5 billion.
And they said they're not done as well.
And they're not done.
They said they're always looking to expand the horizon. So it looks like they're looking to do what Sony did and just go mental.
Yeah, I think they should. And you know what? I support them 100%.
Yeah, I mean, look, competition is great.
Yeah,
because if Sony was on their own, it'd be like a £700 console.
Yeah, exactly.
They have to stay competitive, and I think Microsoft, they're keeping each other on their toes. And like I said, if Xbox does well, then yeah, all day. It's just right now they don't have the games.
No.
I think Xbox Games Pass is definitely their saving grace.
Yeah.
In other news,
Cyberpunk.
Word is they're shortening the
yeah, they're shortening the playtime, aren't they?
they're shortening the campaign.
The campaign time, sorry.
Word is that analysts, their analytics are telling them at CD Projekt Red that a lot of people didn't finish The Witcher, a lot of people didn't finish their games, so they've decided to cut the game shorter, so that people can finish it.
Wasn't it that
the lowest common denominator?
Yeah, wasn't it that people weren't finishing their games because apparently people felt The Witcher was too long, or something like that?
Well, I think it's just they just didn't get to the end of it for whether it's time or attention span or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was just talk of them not doing it because they were like, oh, it's too long. Oh, I can't get to the end. I ain't got time. And it's like, so now the worst part of it is we're being punished.
We are being punished. And I'm kind of, oh gosh, I mean, I get it on one hand, but at the same time, I'm kind of disappointed that CD Projekt Red have felt that they've been backed into a corner like this. They actually have to shorten their game
let's
campaign.
see. I mean, it could be, we'll find out for a release day, but them's the rumors right now. And that's all I got. What about you?
Not a great deal either. I mean, I kind of had a little look at Hyrule Warriors.
Oh yeah, Dynasty Warriors Zelda Edition.
Well, funny thing about that actually. I mean, do you know much about the Hyrule Warriors?
No, I know a lot about Dynasty Warriors.
I'll give you a little breakdown. So it's set 100 years before The Legend of Zelda: Breath of the Wild.
Yeah.
Amongst the Great Calamity, right?
Right.
So hack and slash game by Omega Force and Team Ninja for the Wii U originally. So that was 2014, I believe that was. And get this, it's collaboration between, I'm probably going to butcher the name, Koei Tecmo and Nintendo, and is a crossover between Dynasty Warriors and The Legend of Zelda.
See? Dynasty Warriors Zelda Edition.
I was like, well, how about that? So it's kind of deliberate in a way.
It's just mash the game, basically.
Yeah.
Dynasty Warriors, well, I mean, the latest Dynasty Warriors was pretty bad, if I remember rightly, but...
How many of those are there now? Like 6?
So many. I have no idea. But for me, I know that people were big fans of Dynasty Warriors, but it just came to a point where it was like, this is just button mash.
I mean,
just throw hordes at you and you just become like monkey and you go, wow! And it's just mental with this huge, and people are just getting thrown about.
Yeah.
No.
Nah, not on that.
No.
I mean, from the bit I saw of Hyrule Warriors, it did look fun. It did look a lot of fun. And considering that it's essentially a mash of Dynasty Warriors anyway, where Dynasty Warriors looked... I remember Dynasty Warriors 2, and I was kind of backseating watching a friend play it.
Yeah.
And like you say, it was just button mash, hordes coming out of everywhere. And the colors didn't look that great or anything like that. It just didn't feel like something that I wanted to play.
Sure.
Fast forward now, and we've got Hyrule Warriors. It looks nice. It looks popping. It's got really great colors, textures.
Yeah.
And there are certain the characters have got certain move sets as well, like certain like power move sets.
Yeah.
And it kind of looks fun in that respect, actually.
It does look. I mean, I can't really say anything because Avengers is not unlike that, where you're picking characters and they just throw enemies at you and you're just. But I feel like the combat in Avengers is quite specific. Whereas like Dynasty Warriors is just like sweeping things where just people go flying, and it didn't make a huge amount of sense. But I mean, obviously, hopefully it does well.
Yeah, hopefully it does well. We'll see how it goes. I mean, I think it's going to be November 20th this year that it's going to be released. So yeah, stay tuned for that. Other than that, Street Fighter 5, Dan, the preview.
We had a little bit more of a preview from Dan. Great. I mean, I'm not a big Dan fan. I get where the fun is.
Yeah. I want to know. I would love to talk to the fan base that has helped prop Dan up over the years since Street Fighter Alpha.
The single hand Hadouken and all that.
Yeah, I mean...
Yeah, I don't know. I feel Dan is a Shoto, so he's in the same school as Ken and Ryu and...
Well, kind of, but not really.
Is there a story? I don't know. You know more than I do.
There's a little bit of a story. He's almost like he's almost like a wannabe Shoto, but not so much... How can I put it? Like Sakura's a wannabe Shoto, right?
Yeah.
But she is actually compared to Dan. Dan is very much more. I don't know how you describe him.
I thought he was in the school of Ryuken and Sakura.
I don't think he was. Maybe I'm wrong. Correct me in the comments section.
Let us know. That'd be interesting.
Yeah.
But yeah, I didn't know that. But yeah, I saw some of his gameplay. I was like, I'm still not.
I mean,
not keen.
Yeah, I mean, the animations looked okay, and they've doubled down on his on his taunts and his flourishes actually. So every time he does like a hard punch button move or something like that, he'll do like a little animation where he spins around or he throws.
His taunts actually do damage as well. They actually connect, don't they?
His taunts do damage and do damage. Jesus. Okay.
Yeah.
And yeah, they can be used as cancels. Actually, interestingly enough, they did give us a little combo introduction whereby you can start with your normal standard combo, and then you could do a taunt, and then you can go into an EX combo, and it does some damage, and you think, okay, that's all right.
But is it enough? Is it enough to keep the Street Fighter V franchise, Street Fighter V life going? Is it enough?
No.
I don't. I mean, I'm almost at a point where it's like, I think it should be done. Like, don't do the next season and then just go into Street Fighter 6.
Yeah, I think
start over, man.
Yeah, I think this next season should be the cap. The last character they're going to release is a special character from Rival Schools.
Akira.
Akira, that's it.
Rival Schools, by the way, is another fighting game from back in the day.
From Capcom, and that was a really fun game. Actually.
That was a really fun game. Yeah. That was a really good game.
Yeah.
And then they're talking about Virtual Fighter 6.
Wow.
Which hasn't been around for
over a decade, 15 years, 20
years.
Yeah.
And they're saying Virtual Fighter X esports. So whether it's a new Virtual Fighter game for 40s, like they're making a new one, or it's old Virtual Fighter at esports. We'll be interested to see how they roll that out. Hopefully it's a new one, because that'd be sick. It'd be good to have a new game in the beat 'em up world.
Yeah, in the beat 'em up arena, sort of give Tekken a run for its money. Maybe, if they keep pushing the franchise. And I was saying to you the other day, what would be really interesting is if Battle Arena Toshinden, I don't know if you guys and gals remember that. That was old. A little flash in the pan to rival Tekken and Virtual Fighter back in the day, really.
Yeah.
It did get as far as Battle Arena Toshinden 2, and then it just kind of fell off. So it'll be interesting to see if that does.
If they bring back new fighting games.
Yeah.
Okay. Anything else?
Feeling good? No, nothing from me that was good. I mean...
Okay, so obviously with Tokyo Game Show being what it is, the biggest release for me, the biggest announcement for me so far was Final Fantasy 16 being the big JRPG fan that I am, or maybe not to some, but I like my JRPGs.
You like, yeah.
And obviously the big news was obviously that it's coming out, but that it's also produced by Naoki Yoshida, who is the producer for Final Fantasy 14.
Right.
And it says on Kotaku, it says Square Enix producer Naoki Yoshida was supposed to be talking up and playing Final Fantasy 14, but since he's also producing Final Fantasy 16, Yoko couldn't help himself. So Yoko is the Nier creator and was asking what's going on with Final Fantasy 16. The funny thing is with this game is usually what happens with gaming,
right?
And we all know this now, is when a game is released, it's usually a pre-rendered movie.
Yeah.
Or like a logo or something like that that's just a bit like, oh, great, it's never going to come out.
Right.
They've got nothing, right?
Yeah.
So basically the makers of Final Fantasy 16 were like, we don't want to do that. We don't want to go down that route. There's no teaser site. There's nothing like that. We basically worked doubly as hard we worked really hard. I didn't want to release a movie or amazing rendered footage with the logo. He was like, as much as possible, I wanted to show real-time in-game footage. This is what Yoshida was saying. However, since the footage hadn't been optimized and tuned, creating the trailer was somewhat exhausting at this point in the game's development. So they're obviously really early on, but they didn't want to be releasing something where it's like, hey, see, and it says, he's like, if it were just a rendered trailer, there'd be comments I've seen in America and elsewhere that says, see you in 2035.
Whoa. All right.
Yoshida once again stressed how he wanted to show the actual game in motion instead of something just to sell the game.
Yeah.
So my question is, are we reaching a point now where, like, obviously the main thing that when people are releasing games and stuff that get people hype is pre-rendered trailers that show nothing of the game.
Yeah, it's just
doesn't even show what the mechanics are. It's a movie.
Yeah, it's just a bit of a movie. Yeah.
Is that still effective? Do you think that still works, or at this point, do you think Yoshida's right and it should be if you're going to release a trailer, it should be a bit of both. It should be a mix of in-game, you know, mechanics, like actual in-game movie, mixed with rendered, or do you still think it's okay to do these like kind of pre-rendered teasers?
Right, I feel as though that if you're going to release a trailer for a game, there needs to be some real, actual gameplay.
Because it's never anymore. It's very rarely does that happen. In an original game, very rarely does it ever show like Final Fantasy 16. There was in-game footage.
Yeah.
Trailer 1 almost never happens.
Yeah. True. And that, I think for me, that's why, you know, I looked at it and I thought, okay, this could be good. But for the most part, like you say, it's just, you get a lot of trailers that don't show a lot of like real in-world game mechanics or anything like that. No real playability or anything like that. So yes, the hype is generated from those trailers, but I think we are getting to a point now where people may be starting to see through that. You know, when you see trailers that, you know, have got the caveat at the bottom, in-game pre-rendered footage or in-game engine. I'm like, okay, but what about the gameplay? Like, show me that. And I think that's why, like, going back to Hyrule for a second, you know, there was a lot of gameplay in that. It showed all gameplay. Yeah. Right. And that gave me a real world sense of, you know, what I'm going to be dealing with when I've got the control pad in my hand. You know what I'm saying? Like, I want to be able to project myself forward and be like, okay, so, you know, all right, this is probably going to feel like this, and I could have fun with doing this, or maybe I won't. You know what I mean? But the point being is that I get a tangible sense of what that gameplay is going to be by showing it to me.
Do you think that they like more now than ever, developers are showing or announcing games way too early?
Big time.
Right?
Big time.
And then it's pissing people off because they're sitting there going, well...
Careful, we swore.
That's not swearing.
I'm getting a swear jar.
That doesn't count.
That's £2.
Nah, man. I didn't swear.
Let us know in the comments.
I actively chose that word because it's not swearing. But don't say it, kids.
Yeah.
Don't say it to your dad.
Shh.
No, you are.
Yeah.
So, I feel like more than ever. Perfect example: Final Fantasy VII remake.
Yeah,
that was a name that was announced. What, 5 years?
My God,
5.5 years before the game came out.
5.5 years.
You would never do that if it was a movie, right?
No, you wouldn't.
If it was a movie, you wouldn't drop a trailer and then go, nah. Can
you imagine if the MCU did that? Like Avengers Endgame, innit? But it's not coming out for
3 years. We've got it. Yeah.
Can you imagine the backlash?
People would go mental.
Yeah.
So that's kind of my point is, you know, why like I understand why they do it. Sorry, I understand why they do it, but I just, to get people hype and get people in it, and they want to be seen to be working, but at the same time, it almost defeats the point. Elden Ring is another game that's been announced a long time ago, and with every like direct or any game like event that comes up, well, this is basically, Elden Ring is a game that's, I think it's From Software and George R. Martin are doing a game together.
Yeah, I heard about it.
And they announced it ages ago, and it's just like, and we got one trailer, and that's it. We haven't even had a sniff of anything coming out. It's the same with you know, I'm going to use Final Fantasy VII as a reference. Is when they had the live stream come up, and then it was like Final Fantasy VII remake, and everybody lost their minds. And I remember being elated. But then it just went coming soon, and I'm like, we're not going to see this game.
Yeah,
and that would kind of sullied it for me. I wouldn't mind if it was like a year out, coming summer 2021. Now, right?
Because at least we're still gripped in the hype, and it's like, bam, I'm going to buy this game. I'm going to play the crap out of it.
There's going to be 2 trailers, one every 4 months.
Yeah.
Right. So 4 months will be a trailer. It's exciting. Another trailer, then it's out.
Yeah.
And that's really cool.
Yeah.
What I don't like is when it's like, here's another trailer, like Cyberpunk. Here's another trailer.
Oh, gosh.
Here's another trailer. Now we're going to do like Night City events, showing you more stuff and more stuff.
There's like about 20 trailers and bits of gameplay out there for Cyberpunk now, and it's kind of turning me off a little bit.
It's sullying it because now it's like I feel like I've played it.
Yeah, exactly. And plus with this extra news of the campaign possibly being shorter, I mean, obviously we don't know that for sure.
But do you think they've just announced? Did you think that they announced Cyberpunk, for example? They announced it too early. Because they announced that game 6 years ago.
They did.
5 years ago.
Yeah, they did.
With that trailer where the guys, they shoot the guns and it was the woman on the floor.
Yeah.
And the bullets bounce off her.
Mm-hmm.
How old is that trailer?
Yeah, no, you're quite right.
We got nothing from that.
Yeah.
So why? I'm curious to see if there was a dev that would be willing to speak about this and be like, "Oh, we do it because our board members want." For example, I'm speculating. We want our board members to be confident in the fact to see what the response is from the public.
Yeah.
So we'll put a trailer out. If it's a positive response, great. We'll move forward. Whatever, right?
Yeah.
We need to be seen doing something, or is it a PR thing, which is like, oh, we've not been seen doing anything for a while, so let's put something out so that we're not kind of like festering or we fall to the back. Or
I think it's a mixture of both in a way, but also I think there's another point in that, you know, the success of the Witcher games have been astronomical to the point where it's getting a full remaster for the PS5 for crying out loud.
Yeah, sure.
After a series that starred Henry Cavill, right?
And after the fact that when that series came out, the game sold like another couple million copies, and the
game sold all over again. They have made so much bank off of that one game, right?
Yeah.
But anyway, I digress. Point being is that I think with the release of that trailer 5 or 6 years ago, I think they kind of knew that we're basically in their pocket.
Yeah, we're going to buy the game.
We're in their pocket. After The Witcher 3, it's just like, look, just tell me when you want me to open my wallet and it's calm. So they give us a trailer now, and that's going to whet our appetites for a while. And, you know, you and I have had this conversation off mic as well. Like, whatever comes out of CD Projekt Red, I'm not even arguing.
Yeah,
I am buying it.
I'm gonna buy it. Same with I'm the same with Naughty Dog.
Yeah,
but
exactly.
Again, Naughty Dog did the same thing where years ago they announced that one where Joel walks in and goes, "Excuse me." Joel walks in and goes, "Are you really gonna do this, kid?" And she's playing and Ellie's playing the guitar on the bed.
Yeah.
And it looks like she's going up against the Fireflies, right?
Yeah.
I wonder, is it and I'm gonna keep speculating, throwing like ideas at you. Do you think it could be because they're like, well, we'll be working on this for a while, and if it leaks, then we're not going to have the surprise,
right?
So we should announce something, so that people know we're working on it, and then if it leaks, it doesn't matter because we've already said it.
Okay, so it's almost like a preemptive strike. I
don't know. I just find that announcing a game years in advance is one thing. Announcing a game as a pre-rendered thing that a third-party company probably did that has nothing to do with the game. You don't know what style of game it is. I mean, obviously, if it's like a franchise game.
Yeah, no, quite right.
You're not going to show in-game footage. I'm just curious. Like, this seems to be quite a novel thing where Square Enix and Yoshida at Square Enix have said, no, we wanted our first trailer to show you what the game was about. And the fact that everyone's gone, oh my God, like straight away, that's great. We know what we want.
Yes, yeah. That's what we should be getting.
We should be getting that.
That's what we should be getting. You know, and I think for them as well, maybe they've kind of learned from the mistake of Final Fantasy VII Remake, in that, you know, they obviously released that trailer.
Yeah. Way too early.
Yonks ago. I mean, let's be real. We're talking half a decade ago, just to put that into...
And we're probably going to get that again.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, we're not even going to get a whiff of part 2 for 2 years.
I can't.
And then we probably won't even see the game. And that won't be gameplay. That would just be another pre-rendered footage thing.
That's going to be someone walking.
But that's normally how they do it, though, isn't it? They usually just go, you'll hear a voice, a black...
Yeah.
Perfect example. Yeah. Even though this is cool because it's 2021.
Yeah.
God of War Part 2. But I'm not saying that this is one of those like moments, but they normally do something which will be the logo, a voice, the music. You're done.
Yeah.
And then it's like, coming soon. We're never going to see it.
But again, you know, you and I looked at that thing and said, just tell me when you want me to part with my cash and we're good.
1 trailer, 2 tops.
Yeah.
I'm done.
And that first thing wasn't even a trailer. It was like I could make that animation.
Yeah.
I could do that myself
Mate,
on my
you probably
laptop.
knocked that out in an hour.
Exactly.
Like, we
Do you
need
know
to
what I
throw
mean?
something up. All right.
But yeah, we know we're gonna get it, and they know they've got a hit on their hands with the first game.
Yeah, 100%.
First game,
God of War, yeah,
4.
100%.
Yeah, they know they've got a hit, so we're in their pocket. But if they do that thing whereby, I mean, they've said what 2021.
2021.
Yeah,
which is amazing. But I think they did that right. But
yeah.
Corey, Balrog. I'm so sorry. I need to look this up.
All right. Yeah, let's.
This is it's silly now when we say this wrong, because one day I'd like to meet the guy and be like,
Balrog, not Balrog. I thought
Corey Balrog, who is awesome. I remember when he filmed himself checking the reviews of the first God of War and he was crying.
Oh wow,
it was amazing. The guy is so cool.
Cares about what he does.
Yeah, man, he's brilliant. And so
that's what we need.
Him doing anything, I'm in. But him doing the God of War franchise, especially after the first one, one trailer, 2 tops, but he did it right.
Yeah,
he went, here's a little teaser. It's coming out in within a year.
Yes. Yeah.
Calm,
and
done.
Yeah, and people are gonna grab onto it.
Yeah.
So it just begs the question: why do, coming full circle now? Why do certain companies feel as though that they can release a trailer and then not release anything
for years?
Like what?
Or
is
more,
that?
you've seen companies that have announced games that don't even have a title yet. And
yeah.
It's like Project Athia.
And that looked good as well.
And it looked good.
Which is annoying.
But then, you watch any reactions to people watching that trailer.
Yeah.
And everyone's like, well, that's never coming out. Because it's like, it was pre-rendered. Or if it wasn't, it was like, it was a little bit too sexy.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then it was called Project something. It's like, dude, you haven't even got a name for it yet. Yeah. You're telling the people.
You might as well have just called it working title, innit?
And we're in a place now where, like, people are changing names. Gods and Monsters from Ubisoft is now called Immortals Phoenix, spelt wrong, Rising.
Immortal Phoenix.
Phoenix Rising. And that, it looked good originally. I mean, the name is dreadful.
Yeah, I don't know where they took it.
It's bad, man. It's so bad. But, like, because of the Monster Can thing.
Yeah.
For those of you who don't know, Ubisoft is releasing a Breath of the Wild type Greek mythology inspired game called Phoenix Immortal Rising. It was once called Gods and Monsters.
Can't help itself.
But the reason that it got told it couldn't be Gods and Monsters is because Monster Energy Drinks was like, nah, it's too close to our brand. Which, there's so many swear words.
Yeah, let's.
But yeah,
let's keep calm for now.
Ridiculous.
Yeah.
So
we'll turn off the mics.
They released a game. They released a trailer for a game. Sorry. That was miles out, and then nothing. We got nothing from them for ages, and then they're like, "Oh, by the way, here's that game. It's a different name now, but here it is." My question again is like, why not just wait until you're in a position where you're like, "Yeah, we're in a really good place now.
Yeah,
we can bowl this out and maybe do a little dev diary or something like that, and then we can push it out." Like, why are we announcing games so early, showing pre-rendered footage that they probably didn't make? And then making people sit on their hands for 5 years.
I mean, I don't know. Could it be a shareholder thing where they're just pushed to just get something out, just to get people, wet for it. Jesus, I was trying to find a different word, but anticipating, salivating. Yes, we're gonna have to strike that out. But yeah, maybe it's that, just to make sure they get that guaranteed money, which is a dark way of thinking about it, but
not surprising.
But surprising. But is it really necessary? We don't need to do it like that.
Do we need to be told about a game 5 years? I'm gonna go back to the movie example of, imagine, Dark Knight, whatever, Tenet, whatever comes out, and they're like, yeah, this trailer looks amazing.
Yeah,
so cool. Oh my god, look at it, it's great.
Yeah, coming
in 2030 or 2025. Yeah, you'd be like, why tell me now?
Yeah, no, exactly.
Why? Like, it doesn't make any sense to me. It's still a product. It's still art.
Yeah,
it still makes sense. Yeah. I mean, I get it that the turnaround time, obviously, for a movie is a fraction of that for a game, but that's not the point. The point is, when the movie is in a place where it can be shown, they're like, cool, here's a trailer, and then we'll have it with you in the next year. Usually it's about a year, right?
Yeah, exactly. And, give or take, from the trailer, it's still a trailer for something that we're going to get within the next year. And I feel as though that gaming needs to go back to that. I don't know where this thing has come from, to be honest with you. I can't put my finger on it, but
it's made worse by all these like events now. It's made worse by things like Australian Game Show, Tokyo Game Show,
all the game
Gamescom,
shows,
but then on top of that, I mean, the game shows make sense because it's a collection, it's a showcase. But when Ubisoft start doing Ubisoft Forward and Nintendo are doing Nintendo Direct and Sony are doing their Sony showcase and stuff, like each company is doing their own showcases now.
Yeah.
So they all have to have something to show.
Yeah.
Instead of going, okay, we have our one game we're going to put into Gamescom, for example, or E3, right? We'll say E3. Nintendo have their one game, Ubisoft have their one, and they all put it in, and it makes a collection of great games. Yeah. But now that everyone's trying to break off and do their own thing and do their own showcases, it's not enough butter over too much bread.
Yeah, it's getting to a point where it does feel a little bit saturated with all of that stuff. I mean, we've said off mic before, very recently, actually, that for example, when we were watching the Tokyo Game Show this week,
a lot of filler.
It was a lot of filler and a lot of stuff that we had already seen
before.
A good 2 months ago from whichever showcase, from PlayStation showcase or.
I get with the Japanese game show though, that a lot of it is now in Japanese.
Yeah, which is fine,
cool, but it's still.
But yeah, like you're saying, it's just a lot of there's just a lot of filler. It feels like and it's just become a little bit too saturated, a little bit over the top with it.
And I wonder how many companies are being leaned on to be like, hey, you need to give us something we can use here. So I know you're like 3 years out, but make something that we can show in our direct or show in our showcase. Yeah. And then we're in that situation where, because they're trying to pad out their showcases so much, we're getting games that are years away. Yeah. That have been announced too early. Some that might not even see the light of day by the time they might get cancelled. They might, for whatever reason. So these showcases aren't great. I think, especially like how often they are. Yeah, it feels like they're quite often.
It does.
And it feels like they're announcing too many games. They're trying to keep, everyone's doggy paddling. Yeah, everyone's trying to tread water and stay on the surface and stay relevant. And I think it's actually hurting the industry a little bit now, because
and that kind of leads perfectly into my next question, actually, which I just
go on.
It just popped up into my head. Do you think that there is a worry from these companies that they are starting to lose the grip on gamers, or that they are scared of losing the grip on gamers, in a sense?
In what way? How do you mean?
Do you feel as though that with this, for example, the Cyberpunk trailer that was released years upon years ago, I mean, fair enough, it's CD Projekt Red and they already know that we're going to buy their product. But with other companies, do you feel like there's a worry there that gamers are going to slip off and they're not going to make any revenue or something like that? Or do you feel that they're worried about the industry?
I think developers are worried about becoming irrelevant in a sea of...
That's a better way of putting it.
I think devs are definitely worried about being forgotten in a sea of up-and-coming developers, because it seems like everyone's creating...
Yes.
There's like developer, the CEO of Rockstar's gone off and making their own... Got 40 million for their new open world game. And the CEO, the one of the devs from... Blizzard has left and is anti-Activision Blizzard and is making their own thing. So you've got everything spreading out, and everyone's trying to become the next, CD Projekt Red or the next big thing, right?
Next thing, yeah.
So we're getting saturated by release games and indie titles and stuff like that. And I feel like if you are not constantly in the face of the people, especially in now where the attention span is it's so small and obviously instant gratification,
because there's a lot that's competing for our attention, not just games, but anything outside of that. There's always something that's competing for our attention,
and we're looking at games that come out every year, man. You got like Call of Duty comes out every year, Assassin's Creed comes out every year. So we're in a place where we are saturated with games, and you need a dev that can turn around and go, you got to be there going, well, when our game comes out, you're going to play our game too, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that's what I find is maybe the problem, and it is hurting the industry. That people are going to forget that gamers and the games and the devs that are making them exist, and they've doubled down or they focus on something else, and then this game comes up out of nowhere and they're like, oh, I didn't know that. Which then goes back to how early do you announce your game? And that, I feel like the internet is a beautiful thing, but it's a beautiful problem. It's a beautiful mess.
It's a beautiful beast.
And this is one of those issues where everyone can be. You want to be a game dev? Go ahead and do it. Like it's one of those things where it's like you've got the softwares there. It's affordable. It's so
accessible. Yeah.
It's so accessible. You can be your own marketing team. You can be your own PR team.
You can do You can be a one-man band.
Steam. Yeah. Look at Stardew Valley, man. He even made the music.
Ridiculous.
And like that idea of Steam's there, to ready to publish your game, and GOG's there ready to publish your games. So everyone is having a crack. What makes you different, and how are you going to stay relevant?
This is it, isn't it?
And I think that's kind of the question at the end of it all, right? I think maybe that's why they do it.
Probably,
to try and stay relevant. We need to be seen doing something. We can't be forgotten about. See, I don't think anyone after The Witcher 3 though would be turning around going CD Projekt Who. Do you know what I mean?
Really? Nah.
But why release their Cyberpunk trailer 4-5 years ago when the game doesn't come out for months from now? A month from now, 2 months from now.
A month and a half from now, isn't it?
And then just ramp up and show us most of the game leading into it.
Yeah, it's almost like they're making up for the last 4 or 5 years. Just showing us, because I swear there's like 2 bits of new media that comes out of Cyberpunk every week. Like over the last,
and they do events as well. They do like showcases.
Yeah, and it's getting to a point where I go on YouTube and there's just a new thumbnail, a new Cyberpunk thumbnail, and I just have to just consciously ignore it.
I don't get why people need to spoil it for themselves as well. And they're like, oh, this leak came out and we're going to double down and look into it and go through all that. And I'm like, why? Like, why not just wait? Why do you need to know?
Yeah, just wait. Just stop. Just chill out. Have a little bit of patience. Yeah, I know.
Do one. That's the thing. It's like dream on. This is the thing. People are, it's like cokeheads now get into that, addicts that are like.
Are we fiends? Are we fiends now? Have we turned into that?
This is the thing. I don't like the leaks. I try to stay away from the leaks. I don't like. I'm getting to a point where I don't even want to watch too many of the trailers or the showcases because I want to enjoy the game when it comes out.
Well, this is what I was saying to you a couple of episodes ago about how I treat movie trailers. I will see the first and maybe the second, and then I'm out.
But the fact there's more than 2.
Exactly.
This is my exact point. Why are we at a point now where we have so many trailers and so many showcases? The fact that now games don't just have trailers anymore. They have interactive or presenter-led showcases that are 25 minutes long.
I mean, you just think to yourself, okay, look, all of that money that you spent on that presenter-led showcase for about 20-25 minutes.
Coming out your budget.
It's coming out your budget, mate. How about you just take all of that and just put it back into the game?
If they had not said anything 3 months ago, if they dropped a trailer 3 months ago, and were like coming out in November, and then they did a launch trailer, done.
A good old launch trailer.
You remember?
Yeah. I love launch trailers. Proper launch trailers,
like Batman, big music.
Yeah, just like everything just epic, like Game of Thrones level music, and
it's too loud. When the trailer comes out and you're like, oh, it's too loud.
Turn it down. No.
That stuff. That's what was good in the day, because it was like, oh my God, I don't know. Yeah. And now we're in a place where not only do we have to worry about people spoiling games for us.
Yeah.
Like regular people, gamers, spoiling games for us on YouTube and thumbnails and the forums and Instagram and da-da-da.
So disrespectful.
We got to worry about the devs spoiling us for us. Leading up to the bloody thing.
It's true. If we can't trust the hand that feeds us, what are we doing? What are we doing out here?
Like, it's crazy. Like, I didn't want to see that.
Such a great way of putting it.
And now, you've got guys going, we went away and we played behind closed doors demos and we got to play the first 3 hours and this is what happens. Like, what are you telling me for?
I love it. We can't trust the devs anymore, man.
Can't even trust the devs.
That's a great way of putting it.
So, that's my rant is over.
I hear that, man. I'm with you all the way. Just I don't know what to say, man. Just focus. Just give us 1 or 2 trailers
And
That-
a
that
launch,
lo-
and
yeah.
then done.
and then the launch trailer, and then it's over.
Too loud launch trailer. I'm
Yeah.
done.
Then it's
Yeah.
over. You know, you crank up the bass on your Bose surround sound. You just watch that trailer and I'm like, okay, I'm in.
I'm in.
I'm buying the crap out of this.
All right. Battle shots.
Okay, we there now, yeah?
You got one. You got one.
Oh, wow. Well, you initiated.
Well, I did the big boy one last week.
You did. All right. Okay, fine. Let me just pick one out of the top of my head, yeah?
And whilst you're picking, I can secretly come up with one myself.
Oh, cheers. All right. Okay, I've got one.
Oh wow, quick. All right, let's go.
All right, so it's going to be...
Tell me.
It's going to be Link.
Did we do Link already?
Have we done Link?
Yeah, because he was underage. He did milk.
Oh, damn it. Yeah, he did. Hasn't he grown up yet?
Can't go obvious, man. Can't go obvious.
Hasn't he grown up yet?
He will, nah. Well, apparently he's over 100 years old, according to Hyrule Warriors.
Oh gosh! All right. Okay, let's try something else. Let's do Sam Porter Bridges. Have we done Sam Porter Bridges?
We haven't done Sam Porter Bridges.
Okay, let's do
Sam Porter Bridges is from Death Stranding,
which is a Kojima Productions
production game. Parcel Force, the game,
the Prime,
the side quest.
So we'll do Sam Porter Bridges versus. Do you know what?
Go on.
Sam Porter Bridges versus Solid Snake. Oh wait, have we done Snake before?
No, I don't think we have done Snake.
Sam Porter Bridges versus Solid Snake.
I don't think we have. But
I know someone is going to be very pleased out there that I've dropped Snake's name in.
Well, it's good because Solid Snake actually is on PC now. There's a fun fact we forgot to put in the beginning of the game. Is Metal Gear Solid and Metal Gear Solid 2 Substance is now on Good Old Games. They made a deal with Good Old Games.
GOG, yeah.
So you can play Metal Gear Solid on PC now.
Wow.
So
That's actually really good news.
Okay, so we're saying Sam Porter Bridges and Metal Gear Solid Snake.
Yeah. Ooh, yeah. And okay, all right. Let me give them a drink. They are drinking.
But, man, it's got to be. I mean, regardless of what they're drinking, it's got to be Solid Snake. He's just bad, man. He's so gruff. That's like saying, all right. Let me put it in context for you.
All right.
That's like saying Rambo. Yeah. And your postman.
What are we saying? That postman can't drink? Like, what are you trying to say about postman, bro?
Don't get me wrong. Sam Porter Bridges is awesome and he is tough. I haven't finished the game yet, so I can't say how far it goes. But he's in a war zone. He does his job. I'm not saying he's not bad. But what I'm saying is you're putting him up against Rambo. You're putting him up against...
All right. But what about the trauma factor?
Okay, I'll give you that.
Man's being swallowed by oil, fam. You know, he's being swallowed by
Giant
oil monsters.
Squids and
squid monsters.
Like
wearing masks. Spoilers, but
big cats with golden bum holes for faces.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And amongst all of that, he's got to look after a ute.
Oh, so we're going with the baby daddy thing now, is it?
I'm sorry, like, what do you want me to say, innit?
And he's a dad fam.
Yeah. So come on, give my boy Sam some respect, yeah?
All right. Okay, no,
give him some respect.
Yeah, but then if he's got a ute, he shouldn't be drinking.
Yeah, but bruv.
What?
Someone's babysitting the ute, innit? Like, let's just say that. Yeah, someone's looking after the thing, innit?
Okay.
It's not a big deal.
Okay.
Yeah, he needs
let me
time
think about
away.
this. All right, fine. Now that you've added that, I'm happy to... All right.
Jesus, that had to come with variables.
Okay, so... But he drinks a lot of energy drinks, doesn't he? Sam Porter Bridges.
Yeah. Well, he's got to if he's got a,
sponsored by Monster.
Another fun fact. So what you're saying? You take your time. Yeah, okay, Snake's rough, he's gruff.
But the trauma factor is way worse because, like, Solid Snake seems like man's on fire, like, coming at him.
Yeah.
And, like, Sniper Wolf and Psycho. My man Solid Snake's been tortured by a psychopathic telepathic thing words,
bro. Yeah,
if you say oil,
bro, my boy Sam Porter Bridges has been killed.
Yeah, but he's a patriot, a repatriate.
Man's been through death experiences and he has to come back and still dodge oil. Be real, be fair to him. Yeah, come on. All right, I take that. While he's a baby daddy. Be fair.
Solid Snake's lost an arm.
I kind of feel like, the Sam Porter Bridges losing his life is kind of losing grip here.
Solid's lost his arm.
Yeah.
He's been electrocuted, tortured by a telepathic psychopath gas mask wearing nut job Psycho Mantis.
Yeah.
The Metal Gear where he has to crawl through like a nuclear reactor.
Oh, geez. Which one was that?
I think it was 4.
Do you know what? I don't think I did 4.
Where
three was a Snake Eater, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He has to crawl through a nuclear reactor while man's skin's coming off.
While his skin is coming off.
Trying to get there. You're telling me, like, he's been through it. I think he deserves a drink.
Okay.
Do
you know what?
I'm gonna give it to Snake. I think the trauma factor's higher.
You are clowning me.
I think the trauma factor's
You're trolling
higher.
me, fam.
The death thing is fair, but I think the trauma factor's higher with Snake. Sam Porter Bridges died, but the difference is he knows he can because he can come back because he's a patriot.
That doesn't make it
a repatriate. Is it repatriate or patriot?
He gets repatriate.
He's a repatriate.
Repatriate, yeah. But that doesn't make it okay.
It doesn't make it okay.
It doesn't mean that he feels good about it. I mean, you've heard him speak. Man's depressed.
Man grumbles a lot.
He grumbles. Yeah.
I think out of the two of them, I actually think over Sam Porter Bridges, I would have said Fragile as well. You think Fragile's been through it. Fragile is a character, by the way, that is also in Death Stranding.
Yeah.
Like, poor girl.
She's been through a couple
with
things.
The Timefall.
Yeah.
I think even she might even give him a run for his money.
Oh my God. So there are 3 people at this table?
I'm saying there's 3 people at this table, and I think Fragile would give Solid a bigger run than Sam Porter Bridges. What?
Oh my God.
There, I said it.
Wow.
Come at me.
Kojima, I'm sorry, man. Like,
hey, look, they're all his characters.
That's true. That's true. That is true. Yeah. All right. Okay.
So I'm going to give it to Solid.
You're going to give it to Solid.
If you want to let us know what you think, guys,
yeah,
for the
please
listeners,
hit us up.
Hit us up, because I reckon this is going to be controversial.
Yeah, this is going to be a talking point right here. I
still like Death Stranding. It's still a good game.
Yeah.
I'm just saying I like Metal Gear more, and I think that Solid is a...
Right. So your decision is biased.
No, it's not biased.
It's
I just think
blatantly biased.
Solid Snake is a tougher character. I think the trauma factor is high. I think that now we're getting to a point where Battleshots is about trauma factor.
Trauma shots.
So I'm going to give it to Solid Snake of Metal Gear Solid fame.
Okay, fine. Okay, okay. Done. Yeah, I'll begrudgingly agree with that.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Well, guys, as always...
Just saying, Sam's my boy.
Are you a big fan of Sam?
No, I am a big fan of
Sam. Like I said, if you want to try out Metal Gear Solid, go to googlegog.com and download it. It's like £8. It's definitely worth it. It's one of the greatest games ever made.
Absolutely.
So yeah, but as always, guys, I think we're going to wrap it up there. Thank you so much.
Thank you for joining us.
Coming down again and hanging out with us.
Always.
It's always a laugh. If you can think of anyone that should be in the trauma battle shots, that apparently is a thing now, let us know and chat to us, man. Like, we're on Instagram, and if you know us, you know us. So hit us up.
Hit us up on your YouTubes as well, and remember to hit up those comments, and always keep it civil.
Subscribe, man. Tell your friends. We want to spread the word. But thanks again, guys. We really appreciate it. Take it easy.
Have a great week.
Later.